Hey guys, thanks for taking about the next 10 minutes here out of your life to take a look at what we consider to be probably one of the best programs that's ever been put together. I want to go ahead and let you know right up front, as with any program, your success is determined by your desire, ability, willingness, and effort to complete the 4 steps that we have developed and to help some other people. Now, we can guarantee that if you complete the 4 steps that we've actually developed, you're going to make money with this. What you guys are getting ready to look at is a program called Rocket Cash Cycler. Now, the person that had you to take a look at this is probably already doing some phenomenal things with it, and I think you'll see that as we kind of go through this presentation. I want you to know, first of all, that there's absolutely no mass recruiting here, so I know a lot of us have been involved with companies that involve that. There's no monthly auto ships, no boxes are going to come to your house, there's nothing for you to sell and pitch to your friends each month, nothing like that at all. No monthly fees, no website fees, there's no meetings that we have to attend each week, and that was one of the most refreshing things for us. When we got started here, we did the same thing that everybody did, and we want to go ahead and let you know what that is right up front. There's a $300 one-time purchase with a $15 processing fee. Now, you'll hear me refer to that several times as we kind of go through this, but we'll have to go ahead and put that right up front. That's a one-time purchase. You'll never spend that money again. There's nothing else for you to ever purchase again, and it's a very simple program. Now, with that $300, you're going to get some incredible things. One of those is called XSky software. That's the software that actually is downloaded in your back office for all of you Skype users. It's a great way to build up your contact list. But one of the things that was probably most impressive to me was the library that we get. For that $300, you're actually getting about $2,800, almost $3,000 worth of downloadable and ebooks from some of the best well-known authors that are out there. Things like Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, Zig Ziglar, Les Brown, Jim Rohn, I mean, all of those guys. You guys are familiar with all of these people. But all of these people have downloadable and ebooks that are actually in our back office that you can access 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can also use these to share with other people as well. So that is the product that you get with this. Now, this is just a real quick overview, so we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on that. You took a look at this because you wanted to know what it was all about. So we'll go ahead and get started with that as well. It works on what's called a 2x3 matrix. Now, if you're not familiar with a 2x3, I'll go ahead and explain what that is. What you're looking at on your screen is a 2x3 matrix. There's only one other thing that all of us do here, and we actually refer to other individuals who actually do the exact same thing. That's it. There is no mass recruiting. You'll never have to refer more than 2 individuals. You can if you want, but it's not required. Referring to individuals is what gets you qualified. Now, what you see on your screen is a lot of rocket ships. Those kind of look like goldfish, but they're actually rocket ships. Now, there's different colors of those rocket ships, and I'll explain to what that means in just a second. But if you'll notice, at the top position up there, you'll see one called Goldie. Under that, you'll see 2 other rocket ships, and we call that the 2 line. Under that, you'll see one we call the 4 line. And then you'll see the bottom row there, and we call that the 8 line. Now, that's where everybody begins. Everybody always starts on the 8 line. I started there. The person who referred you to take a look at this started there. Everyone starts on the 8 line. And it's all accomplished by taking one of those next available positions. So if you're looking at the board, you'll see all of these rocket ships. The red rockets have actually already referred 2 people. The blue rockets have referred 1, and the green rockets have just gotten started. So looking at this board, I'll move my cursor here, and you'll see this green rocket called Rains a Lot. If they were to refer one of their friends, they would take the next available spot, which is the one that I just drew the red circle around. Now, if we move over here to Crow's Tail, if they were to refer someone, they would take the next available spot, and so on and so forth. Now, the neat thing about this is you're not doing this alone. Whenever you join, you're actually joining a board that already has some individuals involved, and everybody's working together as a team to fill up that board. For example, the brand new person that just joined, the last one that I just drew the red circle around, if they were to enroll someone, they would take the next available spot. And then if they were to enroll someone, they would take the next available spot. And then maybe Globale, the blue rocket over here on the left, if they were to enroll someone, they would take the last and final spot. Now, that fills up what's known as the 2x3 matrix. And here's what happened. This is where the money starts to take place. The person who's at the top of this matrix, in this case is Goldie, they will actually receive instantly $300 cash. Okay, it pays out very quickly here. We get paid each and every day. Within 24, 48 hours, that money is sitting in your account. So it's a great way for you to make some real quick money here if you just understand how this works. Now, we've had people who have done this in 30 or 45 minutes. Not real hard to do. And you'll see how fast this is moving. I'm going to give you some undeniable proof as we kind of move through this. But the $300 is what's paid out. Now, all you've done there is you've pretty much got back your initial purchase here, and nobody gets excited over that. I didn't, you didn't, and the person showing you this isn't excited. Here's where we got excited about it. You have to understand how matrices and cyclers work. First of all, when Goldie completes this cycle, meaning that they have just simply filled up this matrix with all of the people on the board as well, because everybody's looking to get their 2 referrals, Goldie will then roll off and she'll go into what's known as a 2x2. S. Hamilton and Terry's 1975 will then move up to the top spot, and the process starts all over again. Everybody enrolling 2 people, including the new people that have just come in. So let's take a look at the 2x2 that Goldie would be going to. Now, let's just take a look at this. This is a 2x2. You'll see Goldie there. She's already worked her way to the top spot. This is where the real money starts to happen. I'm going to slow down a little bit because this is where a lot of people start to get excited, and this is where it grabs your attention. Once you're in the 2x2 matrix, you'll never have to enroll another person. You'll never spend another $315. You have just simply put yourself into the $5,000 cycle. And here's the way that that works. Once you're at the top there, you'll see 4 available positions. Those are under the 2 red rockets that are on the 2 line. So when the first person lands there, and by the way, guys, these are people that are coming off of the 2x2, but excuse me, the 2x3. These are not new people. These are not new enrollees that you have. These are people that are already in the system, and they're coming over through the 2x2. So when the first person lands, L. Jones 78, you'll see it right there on your screen, the green rocket. Goldie at that point will receive $1,000. Pretty nice, huh? When the next person lands there, we'll call it E. Lover in 09, Goldie will then make another $1,000. And when the next person lands, Goldie will then make another $1,000. Now keep in mind, Goldie has not enrolled anyone else. In fact, no one on this board has enrolled anyone else. Everybody has simply referred 2 people. When the next and final person lands there, Goldie will then make $2,000. The 4th position actually pays out $2,000, so it's a total of $5,000 for that cycle. Now that grabbed my attention. I've seen a way that we could go out and make $5,000 pretty quickly here. We just needed to teach a few of our friends how this works. Here's what really got me motivated. You have to understand how cyclers work. When Goldie leaves this 2x2, she will actually go into another 2x2. In fact, the 2x2 that she will be going in is the one that BHIP 317 is on. You'll see it right there with the blue rocket. So if we click on that rocket, this is the 2x2 that she would land in. You'll see that Beach Money for Me is already at the top of this 2x2. BHIP 317 has already landed there, which means that Beach Money for Me received $1,000. When the next person lands, and it could be Goldie, it could be someone else. But when the next person lands, Beach Money for Me will actually receive $1,000. And when the next one lands, Beach Money for Me will receive another $1,000. And when the 4th and final person lands, Beach Money for Me will receive $2,000. That's $5,000 paid out on a $5,000 2x2 cycle. Pretty neat. Now, here's where it keeps going. Beach Money for Me will then roll off and go to another 2x2. You'll see 4 for Babe at the top of your screen, and that's the 2x2 that they would go to. Everybody will then move up to the next level, and the process will start all over again. So eventually, Goldie, and we've seen this happen very quickly, will be right back at the top of another 2x2, completing that $5,000 cycle. And by the way, guys, you can do this as many times as you want to. 1 time, 2 times, 3, 4, 10, 100. It really doesn't matter. Every time you cycle that, you're generating $5,000. Now, a lot of people look at this, the first thing they want to know is where in the world does all this money comes from? Okay, we get asked that question quite often. In fact, a lot of people want to know, is this one of those pyramids? Well, for most people, they're not even clear what a pyramid is. But I can tell you, emphatically, no, it's not a pyramid. But a lot of people want to know, where does this money come from? Well, let me give you a little explanation. Let's go back to the original 2x3 that we looked at, the one that had Goldie on the top. And let's focus on nothing but the 8 positions down there on the bottom. If you understand how some systems work, you'll understand why this is so sustainable. If you look at the 8 positions, each one of those are spending $315. We'll take away the $15 processing fee. That means 8 positions must be sold and purchased before any single person is ever paid here. Not a red cent, not one dime, not one check is ever cut until 8 positions have been sold. Those 8 positions represent those products that are in your back office. Now, doing the math on that, that just simply means that $2,400 is being generated. That must come into the company, it must be in their hands, and it must be in the bank's accounts before a check is ever cut. Once that money is in-house, then a person on the top of the 2x3, in this case it would be Goldie, receives pay. Someone on a 2x2 receives pay, and then the process repeats itself. So you can see how it's very sustainable. In fact, it's mathematically impossible for it to ever collapse. It simply cannot happen. It's just mathematically impossible for that to happen. So that kind of explains why this isn't one of those typical pyramids that a lot of people kind of associate things like this with. It is an actual great way to market the software that's in the back office that you're going to get once you join. Now, to kind of give you some proof here, let's just move right into how this all works. In your back office, and we're going to be done here in about 3 or 4 more minutes, guys. The back office, these are actually screenshots, and you can see the dates right there. $300 is actually what we made when we rolled off of the 2x3. That was on January the 6th, and then just 6 days later, on January the 12th, we made $1,000. That's when we were in the 2x2. On January the 12th, we had another person to land there. Keep in mind, guys, we didn't enroll anybody else. All we did was share this with a couple of people, and we taught them to go out there and do the same thing. On the 13th, we received another $1,000. On the 15th, another $1,000, and then another $1,000, and that's that 4th position, that $2,000 spot. And then on the 27th, When we rolled off of that 2x2, we were right back into another 2x2, and another $1,000 was paid out. That's a total of $6,300. $5,300 of that was paid out in 21 days. We just want you to see how quickly you can earn an income here. Here's another position of somebody that we know. January the 7th, $300 is what they made when they came off of the 2x3. On the 25th, $1,000 twice. And then on the 29th, $3,000 in one day. In one day, $3,000 was paid out. $5,300 total for making that cycle in 23 days, guys. The dates are right there. The numbers are right there. December the 16th, here's actually another position that we had. $300 is what we made when we rolled out. On January the 3rd, $1,000. January the 5th, $1,000. January the 5th, another $1,000. Then on January the 5th, which was the same day, $2 more thousand was paid out. Guys, that's $4,000 in one day on a $315 one-time purchase. Guys, that's just simple arithmetic. That works. $5,300 total paid out in 20 days. The dates are there. The numbers are on the right. February the 14th. This was a real quick one that we have. On February 14th, $300 is what we made. February the 15th, $1,000. They were there at the top of the 2x2. And look, guys, that was in one day. In one day, we rolled off of the 2x3 and was at the top of the 2x2. $1,000 was paid out. February the 17th, $1,000. The 22nd, $1,000. March the 2nd, another $1,000. March the 2nd, another $1,000. $5,300 total paid out in 17 days. Guys, we could go on and on and on with this, but these are just screenshots of the back office. And let's show you how we retrieve our money. We actually use an e-wallet system, very similar to PayPal. This is actually a Solid Trust. If you'll notice right here, you'll see the deposits that were actually made. These come from Rocket Cash Cycler. You'll see it right there on the left. You'll see the dates to the right of the arrow. February the 25th, $1,000. February the 26th, $1,000. February the 27th, $2,000. March the 2nd, $1,000. March 2nd, $300. March the 3rd, $2,000. And on the same day, another $1,000 was deposited. That's when you add all of that up, we're talking over $8,300 in 7 days. It's extreme how fast this moves, and it's all because of the system of the cycle that's been put together. Here's one more screenshot. Here's another date, January the 27th, the 27th, the 27th, the 27th. Guys, look at the numbers right there. January the 28th, $3,000. January the 30th, $1,000. January the 30th, $1,000. And you total all of that up, that's well over $10,000 in 3 days. All because we went out and referred a couple of people and taught them how to do the same thing. It is the most effective way to ever put a marketing company together. Last one here, guys. I just wanted you to see what can happen in one day. On March the 11th, $1,000. March the 11th, $2,000. March the 11th, $1,300. March the 11th, $1,000. We won't even talk about the $945 on the March the 13th, but we'll just focus on March the 11th. In one day, $5,300. Simply because we referred two people and taught them how to go out there and do the exact same thing. Guys, it's real simple to get started. We're going to be done here in about 30 seconds. This is all you need to do. You need to fill out an application in the back office. You'll have to come up with a sponsor that's going to sponsor you into the business. In this case, we'll just call it Big Bucks Money. You'll put an EPN in, your first and last name. And you'll pick the country that you're from. We'll just pick the United States for kicks and giggles. For a username, you'll have to make one of those up. We'll just choose Mo Money for me. You'll choose a password and confirm it. You can always change that at a later date. And then you'll put your email address in. You'll click the red button down at the bottom, and you're in. That's it. You'll have a green rocket on a board, and your job is to do nothing more than to go refer this to 2 other people as well. It is the simplest program we have ever had the pleasure to be a part of. We'd love to have you join the team. We're constantly doing webinars and things of this nature. We have built this entire team strictly from the kitchen table. We've never had a meeting in a hotel anywhere. We don't believe in that. We're not looking for conventions. We're looking for something just like everybody else is, a way to make an income that can sustain itself, and for a program that's so simple that everybody can go out there and do it. And that's why people are flocking to this. It's $315 one time. You simply refer 2 people to do the exact same thing, and that's all there is to it, guys. Love to have you on the team. Get with the person that actually had you take a look at this, and we'll take it from there. Talk to you soon.